Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Chapter 2. Summary. Chapter 2 shifts the narrative focus from Scarlett O'Hara to her father, Gerald O'Hara, providing valuable background about the O'Hara family's rise to prominence and the origins of Tara, their plantation home. Through a third-person narration that delves into Gerald's past, this chapter explores the immigrant experience, the values of the Southern planter class, and the contrast between old money and new. The chapter begins with an exploration of Gerald O'Hara's early life. Born in County Meath, Ireland, Gerald was the youngest of 13 children in a poor farming family. When he was 21, after killing a man in an argument over a horse, a matter of honour, he was forced to flee Ireland to avoid imprisonment or execution. His father bought him passage to America, giving him a start in the New World. Arriving in Savannah, Georgia, Gerald had no money or connections. He worked various jobs, eventually becoming a clerk in a general store. With time, hard work, and a bit of luck, he saved enough to go into cotton speculation. His gambling spirit served him well in business, and he became known for his confidence and rising fortunes. The defining moment of Gerald's transformation came when he won the plantation Tara in a poker game, surprising everyone with the boldness of the gamble. The land came with its own challenges, but Gerald took to farming with the zeal of someone determined to claim his place in society. With help from enslaved labour and guidance from neighbouring planters, he began cultivating cotton. However, what truly elevated his social standing was not just his success, but his marriage to Ellen Robillard, a woman from one of the oldest and most aristocratic families in Georgia. Gerald's marriage to Ellen was transformative, not just socially but domestically. Ellen was 15 years younger than Gerald and came from the Robillard family, French Creoles from Savannah with noble bloodlines. Elegant, pious, and refined, Ellen brought with her the grace and traditions of the Southern aristocracy. Despite the mismatch in temperament, Gerald being boisterous and impulsive, Ellen quiet and dignified, their marriage worked. Ellen became the heart of Tara, managing the plantation's affairs, overseeing the household, and commanding great respect from both white society and the enslaved people who worked the land. Scarlett, their daughter, idolizes Ellen and tries to emulate her self-control and manners, though she lacks the same depth of character. Gerald, on the other hand, adores Scarlett, seeing in her his own fiery spirit and ambition. He is proud of her strong will and beauty, and he encourages her confidence, sometimes at the expense of proper restraint. Chapter 2 offers a glimpse into the hierarchical structure of Southern society. Gerald, although wealthy and a landowner, is still seen by some of the older planter families as an outsider because of his Irish and Catholic background. However, through his marriage and rising fortunes, he becomes a part of the local elite. Yet Gerald never fully assimilates into the refined manners of the Southern gentry. His speech, habits, and opinions often betray his rougher beginnings. The chapter also reflects the harsh realities of slavery, although Mitchell's portrayal is through the romanticized lens of Southern tradition. Enslaved people are referred to as servants, and their perspective is largely absent. Nonetheless, the reader is aware that Tara's success, and indeed the Southern way of life, is built on the labour of enslaved black people, something Scarlett, Gerald, and the other white characters rarely question. Scarlett is described in more detail, especially through the lens of her relationship with her parents. She is very much her father's daughter, headstrong, willful, and emotionally intense. Gerald dotes on her and lets her get her way. Scarlett, in turn, loves Gerald for his boldness and warmth, though she views him as somewhat simple in comparison to her romantic ideal, Ashley Wilkes. Her relationship with her mother, Ellen, is more complex. Scarlett reveres Ellen and tries to live up to her expectations, but she doesn't truly understand her. Ellen is a woman of duty, faith, and endurance. Scarlett, by contrast, is driven by desire, passion, and selfishness. She imitates Ellen's ladylike behaviour, but lacks her mother's moral backbone. We also meet Scarlett's two sisters, Sue Ellen and Corinne. Sue Ellen is petulant and jealous of Scarlett, while Corinne is sweet, delicate, and deeply religious. Scarlett considers herself far superior to both. These family dynamics help shape the novel's central conflicts, not just between Scarlett and the world, but between Scarlett and traditional femininity. A key moment in the chapter is Gerald's speech to Scarlett about the importance of land. He tells her, "Land is the only thing in the world that amounts to anything, for 'tis the only thing that lasts, and don't you be forgetting it. 'Tis the only thing worth working for, worth fighting for, worth dying for." This statement becomes a recurring theme throughout the novel. For Gerald, and eventually for Scarlett, land represents stability, identity, and survival. In a world about to be upended by war, Gerald's deep connection to Tara symbolises a kind of security that Scarlett will later cling to in desperation. The land is more than just property. It is a spiritual anchor, something that gives purpose and permanence in an otherwise uncertain world. Scarlett does not fully appreciate this idea yet, but it will become crucial to her development as the story progresses. Though the chapter seems nostalgic and celebratory of Southern life, it is tinged with foreshadowing. The reader, aware of history, knows that the South's golden age is about to be destroyed by the Civil War. Mitchell paints a picture of a society steeped in tradition, class, and wealth, but also one built on inequality, slavery, and illusion. The tone of the chapter is both warm and tragic. It honours the resilience and ambition of characters like Gerald, but also suggests that their world is fragile and unsustainable. There is an undercurrent of denial in how the characters dismiss the threats to their way of life. Please continue listening to Chapter 3 of this famous novel. Thank you and good night.